The Mo3 case, which everyone thought had finally settled, just exploded in a way nobody saw coming. Last night, a shocking courtroom update sent ripples through the rap world, and suddenly, Yella Beezy is back in the spotlight, whether he wanted it or not. Fans are shocked, timelines are blowing up, and the streets are buzzing with speculation. Reporters rushed to the scene as whispers turned into full-blown accusations, and the energy outside the courthouse was electric. Phones were recording every moment, social media erupted, and emotions ran high as the family watched from the sidelines, divided and tense. Inside the courtroom, sources say a bombshell piece of evidence surfaced, one that could change the entire narrative of what people thought they knew about Mo3's case. Lawyers were caught off guard, and even seasoned journalists exchanged nervous glances. The tension was palpable, the stakes higher than ever, and every eye in the room seemed to follow Yella Beezy as murmurs filled the air. Fans are asking the same question over and over. Why now? Was this long-hidden truth finally creeping into the light? Or is it just another dramatic twist in a story that refuses to die? Whatever it is, the culture is watching, and no one will forget what happened next. The courthouse doors slammed open before the first light even hit the city streets, and immediately the tension was palpable. Cameras flashed, fans shouted, and reporters jockeyed for position as Yella Beezy stepped onto the steps, flanked by a small entourage and his legal team. Every eye was on him. Emotions ran high, because nobody really knew what to expect after the sudden court update about Mo3's case had leaked late last night. Whispers had already spread across social media like wildfire. Something massive had been revealed, something that could turn the narrative upside down. Inside, the atmosphere was thick. Lawyers shuffled papers nervously, while the judge scanned the room with a gaze that carried both authority and suspicion. Yella Beezy sat, barely blinking, but the tension around him was unmistakable. Some fans outside screamed his name, others shouted accusations, and the family of Mo3 was visibly divided, whispering urgently to one another, their faces clouded with shock and disbelief. Sources claim the new evidence was a mix of audio messages, text conversations, and surveillance clips that had been hidden until now. A hush fell when the lead attorney for the prosecution presented what they called a new revelation, and the entire courtroom leaned in, as if waiting for the sky to crack open. Yella Beezy's lawyer immediately stood, gesturing with urgency, demanding time to review the files. "We weren't given this until 5 minutes ago," he exclaimed, voice echoing in the tense room. "Our client deserves to see the facts before anyone jumps to conclusions." The judge's gavel barely settled before murmurs erupted. One of Mo3's cousins, sitting quietly in the back, whispered under his breath, "They're trying to set him up, I knew it." But the whispers weren't just from family members. Fans outside streamed live as they debated the implications. Social media accounts exploded with theories. Some said Yella Beezy had been directly implicated in a cover-up, while others claimed he was being framed by jealous rivals trying to rewrite history. Every theory fueled the fire, and emotions ran higher with each passing minute. Then it happened. A video clip from the evidence was played, showing a previously unknown meeting between Yella Beezy and a close associate of Mo 3 weeks before the fatal incident. The camera angles were shaky, the audio grainy, but the implications were undeniable. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Some leaned forward, squinting, trying to catch every word, while others covered their mouths in disbelief. "I can't believe this is happening," muttered one reporter to another. "Fans are going to lose it." The footage, according to insiders, showed a heated exchange over business disputes and personal grievances. Yella Beezy appeared tense, hands gesturing wildly as he spoke, while the other figure in the clip remained calm, almost eerily so. "You think you can just take what's mine?" the voice demanded, sharp and unrelenting. Yella Beezy's response, caught in the grainy audio, was equally pointed. "I ain't here to fight. I'm here to survive. Don't put words in my mouth." The courtroom felt like it had been electrified. Everyone knew this wasn't just a minor dispute. It hinted at betrayal, greed, and unspoken tensions that had been simmering behind closed doors. Outside, fans went wild as snippets of the footage circulated online. Comments ranged from complete disbelief to anger, with some demanding immediate justice and others defending Yella Beezy, insisting that the video didn't tell the full story. Meanwhile, the Mo3 family was in turmoil. One aunt, tears streaming down her face, whispered to a cousin, "I don't know who to trust anymore. Everything we thought we knew, it's all wrong." The courtroom, normally a place of rigid procedure, was now a theater of raw emotions, amplified by cameras and the ever-present social media spotlight. Just when it seemed the drama couldn't escalate further, a new twist emerged. An anonymous tipster, whose identity remains unconfirmed, sent a set of text messages to the court that allegedly implicated another well-known figure in the rap scene, claiming they had manipulated events leading up to Mo3's death. The messages, though unverified, were read aloud, and the reaction was instantaneous. Yella Beezy's lawyer slammed his fist on the table. "Objection," he shouted. "This is hearsay, and we will not allow unverified claims to poison the jury." The judge banged the gavel, trying to restore order, but the courtroom buzzed with tension. Reporters scribbled notes furiously, cameras panned over every face, and the public's curiosity was now at a fever pitch. "This is bigger than we thought," one insider commented on a live stream. Yella Beezy is about to be dragged through a storm he never asked for. During a brief recess, emotions spilled outside the courtroom. Fans argued, security struggled to keep peace, and a heated exchange between rival groups almost turned physical. Social media amplified every second, with hashtags trending worldwide. Analysts weighed in, dissecting every word from the courtroom video and speculating endlessly about motives and alliances. Meanwhile, inside, Yella Beezy remained remarkably composed, though his eyes betrayed a storm of frustration and concern. Those who knew him personally whispered, "He's thinking 3 steps ahead, but this is serious." Everything could change in the next hour. As the courtroom reconvened, the tension reached a new high. Another video clip was played, this one showing a private conversation between Mo3's inner circle, where accusations were hurled at Yella Beezy, claiming he had turned allies into enemies and used influence to manipulate outcomes. Gasps, murmurs, and even a few audible sobs filled the room. Yella Beezy's attorney rose again, pointing at the projection screen, arguing fiercely that context was missing and that the clips were edited to create a false narrative. "You cannot let these manipulations dictate truth," he shouted. And then, the unthinkable happened. A witness who had been expected to testify weeks later suddenly appeared at the courthouse, claiming they had first-hand knowledge of conversations that contradicted everything previously stated. Their arrival sent shockwaves through the legal teams, the media, and the fans following the story. Yella Beezy's eyes narrowed, and for the first time that day, a flicker of fear crossed his face. Everyone knew this was no ordinary witness. The testimony could either exonerate him entirely or push him deeper into controversy. The witness was sworn in, and the courtroom fell silent. Every word spoken was met with an audible reaction, the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. "I saw the night unfold differently than what has been presented," the witness began. "There were conversations, threats, and decisions made that no one outside the room was aware of." Every syllable seemed to hang in the air, charged with implication, as lawyers scribbled notes furiously and reporters leaned in to capture every nuance. Outside, fans debated whether this new development would clear Yella Beezy's name or drag him further into scandal. Social media exploded, and even rival rappers weighed in with cryptic posts hinting at inside knowledge. The streets buzzed, radio shows analyzed every clip, and influencers speculated endlessly about what this could mean for the rap community at large. The Mo3 family, still grappling with grief, was left in even more turmoil, unsure whom to believe, and watching closely as every minute of courtroom drama unfolded like a live television series. By the time the first day concluded, the narrative had shifted multiple times. New evidence, unexpected witnesses, and explosive revelations had created a whirlwind of confusion and intrigue. Fans were left questioning alliances, motives, and the truth itself. Yella Beezy walked out surrounded by cameras, looking both defiant and wary, fully aware that the storm was only beginning. The drama wasn't just legal, it was personal. Every glance, every whispered conversation, every leaked clip seemed to point to a larger story, one filled with betrayal, vengeance, and unspoken rivalries. And if the first day was any indication, the saga of Mo3's case and Yella Beezy's involvement was far from over. Social media would continue to dissect every frame, every soundbite, and every gesture, fueling speculation and keeping the culture on edge. The second day of hearings opened with the courtroom buzzing like a live wire. Rumors from the first day had already reached every corner of the internet, and fans were glued to their phones, live streams, and news feeds. Yella Beezy arrived early, flanked by his legal team, his expression a mixture of determination and caution. The new witness from yesterday had set the stage for explosive revelations, and everyone knew the day would bring drama that could alter the trajectory of the case entirely. Inside, the judge's gavel barely hit the desk before the first bombshell dropped. A series of emails, previously undisclosed, were presented to the court, allegedly showing a conversation between Yella Beezy and an unidentified associate of Mo3. The emails were intense, filled with veiled threats, business disputes, and personal grievances. The prosecution argued that these messages suggested an active role in manipulating events leading to Mo3's death. Yella Beezy's lawyer immediately objected. "Your Honor, these emails have been taken out of context. My client did not send threats, nor did he orchestrate any harm." The courtroom was silent for a moment, as if holding its breath. The judge raised an eyebrow. "We will allow the emails, but the jury is instructed to consider context carefully," he said, voice heavy with authority. Fans outside screamed when snippets of the emails were tweeted, causing social media to erupt. Hashtags like #YellaBeezy in court and #Mo3drama were trending globally within hours. Influencers speculated wildly about hidden motives and rivalries, while blogs dissected every line of text. "This is getting messier than we thought," one insider commented. "If these emails are legit, Yella Beezy could be facing more than just public backlash." Then, the courtroom cameras caught a moment that would become instant fodder for fans and media alike. Yella Beezy leaned over to speak to his lawyer, his voice barely above a whisper, but still audible enough for some in the back row to catch. "I didn't do any of this. They're trying to make me the villain," he said, tension radiating from every word. The statement immediately circulated online, fueling debate and dividing fans between those who believed him and those convinced he was guilty. Suddenly, the prosecutor introduced a shocking new witness, a former close friend of Yella Beezy, someone who had not been seen publicly in years. Their testimony was explosive, filled with personal grievances and allegations of betrayal. "I warned him," the witness said, eyes blazing. "I told him not to get involved with certain people. But he ignored the warnings, and now look where we are." The courtroom gasped. Even the seasoned reporters seemed taken aback, scribbling furiously as the witness laid out a story that had never been public before. The Mo3 family, sitting in the back, visibly tensed. Some nodded knowingly, while others shook their heads in disbelief. "I knew something wasn't right," whispered one cousin, voice shaking. "But this is worse than I imagined." The tension in the room was nearly unbearable, and even the judge paused to let the gravity sink in. Outside, emotions ran even higher. Fans debated in the streets, some defending Yella Beezy, others condemning him. Supporters waved signs, chanted his name, and live-streamed commentary, while detractors questioned his motives and accused him of lying. Social media became a battlefield, with fan pages and gossip blogs dissecting every nuance, and clips from the witness testimony spreading like wildfire. One viral tweet read, "Yella Beezy just got dragged into the wildest court case of the decade." Shocking. Back inside, another twist shook the courtroom. The prosecution presented surveillance footage showing Yella Beezy at a location linked to Mo3's final days. The clip, though blurry, showed him speaking to several key figures connected to the case. The timing and nature of the meeting were questionable, and the prosecution suggested it implied involvement in strategic planning. Yella Beezy's lawyer, visibly frustrated, countered immediately. This is circumstantial. He was at a public place. There's no evidence he did anything illegal. But the judge, increasingly concerned with the heated atmosphere, the tension escalated when the defense requested a recess, arguing that they needed more time to investigate the surveillance. As the courtroom emptied briefly, the air outside was electric. Fans speculated that the recess was a strategic move to regroup, while street reporters and bloggers broadcast live reactions, heightening anticipation for the next round. During the break, Yella Beezy met privately with a close ally, someone who had stood by him through every previous controversy. "You need to stay calm," the ally warned. "They're trying to make you crack. If you react, they'll spin it against you." Yella Beezy nodded, but his jaw was tight. "I know. I just didn't expect this level of manipulation. They're digging for everything." The tension between what was public and what was hidden became glaringly obvious, and fans speculated endlessly about what secrets might still be unrevealed. When the hearing resumed, emotions were even higher. Another witness, claiming to be an insider from Mo3's circle, provided a bombshell account that contradicted previous testimony. Yella Beezy had nothing to do with the planning, the witness said, voice trembling. But he knew people who did, and he chose to stay silent. The courtroom reacted instantly. Gasps, whispered commentary, and even some tears filled the room. Yella Beezy's face remained stoic, but his eyes flickered with a mixture of anger, disbelief, and calculation. The Mo3 family was now openly arguing among themselves, some defending Yella Beezy, others condemning him. "He should have spoken up," one family member shouted. "He could have stopped it," another retorted. "Stop blaming him for everything. You don't even know the full story." Emotions ran high, and reporters captured every heated word. Social media mirrored the chaos inside the courthouse. Videos of the arguments, tweets dissecting the witness testimony, and live commentary from fans flooded timelines. Analysts debated the credibility of the new evidence and speculated about the implications for Yella Beezy's public image and future in the industry. "This is bigger than just a court case," one analyst noted. "This is a full-blown cultural event, and the internet is the jury." Then another twist hit that nobody expected. A recorded phone call surfaced, allegedly between Mo3's associates, discussing events that contradicted prior statements. The defense argued the recording was manipulated, but the prosecution insisted it was authentic. "We have verified sources confirming the content," the prosecutors stated firmly. The courtroom tension escalated, with every eye darting between screens, lawyers, and witnesses. Fans erupted online when snippets of the phone call leaked. The discussion suggested complex alliances, secret deals, and personal betrayals that had never been revealed. Social media exploded with debate, conspiracy theories, and outrage. One viral comment summed up the general sentiment: "If this is true, the rap world will never be the same." As the day wore on, emotions became almost unbearable. The Mo3 family, Yella Beezy, and everyone in the courtroom were being dragged through a storm of revelations, accusations, and public scrutiny. Even seasoned journalists admitted they had never witnessed a case unfold with such raw emotion and real-time chaos. The line between legal proceedings and reality TV drama had blurred entirely. Evidence, witnesses, and recordings had shifted the narrative in ways nobody could have predicted. Fans were left speculating endlessly, social media was a frenzy of activity, and the rap world collectively held its breath. Yella Beezy walked out surrounded by cameras, appearing calm but visibly tense, aware that every next step would be scrutinized and that the storm was far from over. The courtroom had become more than just a legal arena. It was a stage where fame, rivalry, betrayal, and secrets collided. And if the first 2 days were any indication, what would happen next could redefine the narrative for Yella Beezy, Mo3's legacy, and the entire rap community. The morning of the third day in court felt like stepping into a war zone. The media swarm outside the courthouse was unprecedented. Drones hovered over the crowd, cameras jostled for the perfect angle, and fans clutched signs while chanting Yella Beezy's name. The energy was almost tangible, electric, and impossible to ignore. Inside, the courtroom itself seemed smaller than the tension demanded, with lawyers, family members, and journalists squeezed into every available space, all aware that today could make or break reputations forever. Yella Beezy arrived earlier than usual, face stoic but eyes sharp, scanning the room as if anticipating every move. His attorney leaned in, whispering a strategy meant to counter the new wave of evidence introduced yesterday. Stay calm. Every reaction will be recorded, analyzed, and judged by the public, the lawyer advised. Yella Beezy nodded subtly, but the clenched jaw betrayed his inner turmoil. Everyone in that room knew this wasn't just about legal matters anymore. It was personal, cultural, and deeply emotional. The day's proceedings began with a dramatic twist, a surprise testimony from a figure long rumored to have insider knowledge of Mo3's inner circle. The witness, a close friend of both Mo3 and Yella Beezy, painted a picture of betrayal, manipulation, and hidden rivalries. "I never wanted this to come out," the witness said, voice trembling. "But the truth cannot be hidden. There were meetings, conversations, people were making plans behind the scenes that nobody outside knew about." Gasps echoed across the room as murmurs erupted, the courtroom electrified with anticipation. Yella Beezy shifted in his seat, eyes narrowing as every word of the testimony unfolded. The witness described a chain of events that cast doubt on the motives of several key figures in the case. Emotions ran high as accusations flew, with members of Mo3's family visibly reacting, some shaking their heads in disbelief, others whispering furiously to each other. "I don't know who to trust anymore," one cousin muttered under their breath. The social media world outside mirrored the chaos inside. Clips of the testimony circulated immediately, with fans dissecting every word, gesture, and expression. Influencers debated motives, theories spread like wildfire, and hashtags like #Mo3 courtroom shocker and #Yella Beezy truth trended globally. Reactions ranged from outrage to defense, leaving the public divided and hungry for the next revelation. Just when the courtroom seemed to settle into a tense rhythm, the prosecution dropped another bombshell, a series of text messages allegedly exchanged between Yella Beezy and an anonymous associate, referencing financial disputes and personal conflicts. The messages were explosive, hinting at betrayal, manipulation, and the subtle orchestration of events leading up to Mo3's death. Yella Beezy's attorney immediately objected, calling them fabricated and taken out of context, but the judge allowed the texts to be read aloud. The courtroom erupted as each line was read, every word dripping with accusation and tension. "You think you can just play with people's lives?" One line read. Another, "This ends the way it has to, or you're done for." Gasps, whispers, and stifled murmurs filled the room as family members, fans, and even journalists processed the implications. The Mo3 family, already divided, now seemed on the verge of open conflict, some leaning forward to catch every detail while others buried their faces in hands, overwhelmed by the revelations. Outside, the streets were no calmer. Fans argued, supporters defended Yella Beezy passionately, and social media became a virtual courtroom where every opinion, video clip, and reaction was analyzed. Influencers and bloggers predicted outcomes, dissected motives, and speculated about secret alliances, while live streams captured heated debates among fans, spilling into trending discussions across multiple platforms. Back inside, another twist took everyone by surprise. A video was presented showing a private meeting between a member of Mo3's circle and an unknown third party, allegedly discussing how to manipulate public perception and shift blame. The video quality was grainy, but the implications were staggering. Yella Beezy's lawyer immediately demanded a review, claiming the footage was tampered with, but the prosecution insisted it was authentic. The room seemed to hold its breath as the court played the clip, every reaction caught on camera. Yella Beezy's expression remained calm on the surface, but his eyes betrayed his stress. "They're twisting everything," he whispered to his attorney, voice low but firm. "This isn't the truth. They're making me the villain." His words, though meant to be private, leaked to the media, further fueling speculation and social media frenzy. The Mo3 family was now openly in conflict, some members defending Yella Beezy, insisting he had no malicious intent, while others argued that his involvement, even indirect, contributed to the tragedy. He could have stopped it. One family member yelled across the courtroom, "You had the power to say something and you stayed silent." Another countered, "Stop blaming him. He's not responsible for everything." The tension escalated, and the judge struggled to maintain order as emotions spilled into every corner of the room. Then, a confidential document was introduced, allegedly containing financial records showing transactions between Yella Beezy and unknown individuals linked to the case. The prosecution argued that the money flow indicated possible involvement in orchestrating events, while the defense countered that it was normal business activity, unrelated to any wrongdoing. Lawyers debated fiercely, the gavel banging repeatedly as the judge tried to keep control, but every new revelation seemed to fuel more chaos than clarity. Fans outside reacted instantly. Clips of the argument went viral, with commentary ranging from conspiracy theories to heartfelt pleas for Yella Beezy's innocence. The internet became a battlefield, with supporters and detractors exchanging heated opinions, memes, and analysis. One viral post summarized the sentiment: "This isn't just a court case, it's a full-blown drama unfolding in real time. Everyone's watching." The day's climax came when a surprise witness, a member of Mo3's inner circle who had remained silent until now, stepped forward with shocking testimony. "I know what happened that night," the witness said, voice shaking but firm. "And the truth is different than what you've been told. Some people want you to believe Yella Beezy is guilty, but there's more at play than anyone realizes." This statement sent shockwaves through the courtroom, leaving everyone guessing what the unseen forces behind the case might be. Yella Beezy sat, expression unreadable, as the courtroom absorbed the bombshell. The tension was so thick it seemed to suffocate the room, with reporters scribbling notes feverishly, family members whispering urgent questions, and fans outside speculating wildly about alliances, motives, and potential outcomes. The courtroom had become more than a legal arena. It was a stage where drama, betrayal, and public scrutiny collided in ways that few could have imagined. As the day concluded, emotions were raw. The Mo3 family left divided, Yella Beezy appeared guarded but defiant, and fans across the globe debated what the next day would bring. Social media was alight with speculation, memes, and reactions, and analysts warned that the revelations could alter the landscape of the rap world forever. Every leaked clip, every whispered conversation, and every accusation seemed to point to a story far more complicated than anyone had anticipated. By the time Yella Beezy exited the courthouse, cameras swarmed him from all sides. Flashbulbs popped as he made his way to his car, fans shouted from the sidewalks, and reporters tried to capture his every reaction. He remained calm, but insiders could see the tension in his posture. "This is far from over," one source remarked. "The next day could change everything. Fans are ready, the family is on edge, and the internet is watching every second." Alliances were unclear, motives were suspect, and the line between guilt and innocence was blurred. But one thing was certain: the Mo3 case and Yella Beezy's involvement had become the most talked about drama in the rap world, and the story was far from finished. Fans, family, and the culture at large braced for what promised to be an explosive conclusion, knowing that the next twist could reshape reputations forever. The final day of the courtroom saga opened with a tension so thick it felt like the walls themselves were holding their breath. Outside, fans gathered hours before the doors opened, chanting Yella Beezy's name, waving signs, and live-streaming the chaos for thousands online. Social media had become an arena of speculation, with clips from the previous 3 days circulating non-stop. Influencers, bloggers, and rival rappers weighed in with cryptic posts, adding fuel to the fire. The world was watching, and the spotlight was brighter than ever. Inside, Yella Beezy arrived early, his entourage and lawyers flanking him, but there was a noticeable weariness in his stance. He knew this day could redefine everything: his reputation, his alliances, and his place in rap culture. His attorney whispered in his ear, a mixture of reassurance and strategy. "Stay calm. The public eye is watching, but we control the narrative inside this room. Every word counts. Yella Beezy nodded subtly, but his eyes betrayed a storm of emotions: frustration, fear, and determination, all tangled together. The proceedings began with the judge addressing the new evidence presented by both sides. The emails, phone calls, surveillance footage, and witness testimonies had created a labyrinth of conflicting narratives. The judge reminded everyone to focus on facts, but even in the most controlled moments, the emotional energy in the room was impossible to suppress. Family members from Mo3's circle whispered furiously, occasionally gesturing toward Yella Beezy, while supporters and skeptics alike hung on every word, their reactions spilling into live feeds and social media commentary. Then came the first bombshell. A surprise witness, previously thought unavailable, entered the courtroom. The individual claimed to have direct knowledge of Yella Beezy's interactions with Mo3's associates during the days leading up to the tragedy. Gasps filled the room as the witness described conversations and events that painted a tangled web of alliances, rivalries, and unspoken threats. "I didn't want to speak at first," the witness said, voice trembling. "But the truth has to be told. Some people want to frame him, but there's more going on than anyone realizes." Yella Beezy leaned forward slightly, his jaw tight, as if preparing for what was coming next. His attorney whispered urgently, cautioning him not to react visibly, knowing that any emotional display could be used against him. The courtroom was a pressure cooker of emotions, with reporters furiously typing, cameras capturing every blink, and fans watching every second unfold online. The prosecution played a series of audio clips from phone calls, allegedly showing Yella Beezy in discussions about money, influence, and relationships connected to Mo3's circle. While the recordings were ambiguous, the prosecution argued that they implied awareness and indirect involvement. Yella Beezy's attorney immediately objected. "Your Honor, these clips are being misinterpreted, edited, and presented to mislead the jury." The judge allowed the recordings, but the tension in the room skyrocketed. The Mo3 family, already fractured by previous revelations, erupted in whispered arguments. "He had to know," one relative shouted quietly. Another responded, "Stop. You're making assumptions." The courtroom became a microcosm of the public debate, divided, emotional, and impossible to control. Outside, the streets mirrored the chaos inside. Fans clashed over opinions, live streams broadcasted everything, and social media became an instant jury. Memes, analysis, and conspiracy theories dominated timelines, while industry insiders weighed in, dissecting every gesture, tone, and sentence from the courtroom. The day had already become a cultural phenomenon, with every revelation sparking new debates. The drama escalated further when a confidential document was introduced, allegedly showing financial transactions between Yella Beezy and unknown individuals connected to Mo3's circle. The prosecution claimed it was evidence of indirect orchestration, while the defense argued the transactions were entirely legitimate business dealings, unrelated to any wrongdoing. Lawyers debated fiercely, raising objections and counterarguments as the judge attempted to maintain order. Every objection, counter, and ruling seemed only to heighten the drama. Then came the moment that sent shockwaves through the courtroom and social media alike. A private video surfaced, allegedly showing a heated confrontation between Yella Beezy and one of Mo3's associates weeks before the tragedy. The footage was grainy, the audio muffled, but the intensity was undeniable. "You can't keep doing this," one voice said sharply. Yella Beezy's response, calm but firm, was caught on tape. "I'm not your enemy. I'm just trying to survive this whole situation." Gasps filled the courtroom. Social media erupted instantly, with clips of the confrontation going viral within minutes. The Mo3 family's reaction was explosive. Some members shouted in frustration, others buried their faces in hands, and a few seemed almost frozen by disbelief. "I don't know what to believe anymore," whispered one relative, voice trembling. "Everything we thought we knew, it's all shifting right before our eyes." The courtroom was now a theater of raw emotions, with every moment magnified by cameras, reporters, and social media attention. Just when it seemed the drama could not escalate further, another unexpected twist hit. A previously unknown witness, claiming to have insider knowledge, came forward to testify via video link. They alleged that certain key players in Mo3's circle had manipulated events to frame Yella Beezy, redirect public outrage, and control narratives in their favor. The courtroom erupted in murmurs and whispers, while Yella Beezy's legal team seized the moment, emphasizing that their client had been unfairly targeted by a web of deceit. The testimony painted a picture of betrayal, hidden alliances, and long-standing rivalries. Every word added layers to the unfolding saga, leaving the public questioning motives, actions, and the truth itself. The Mo3 family now faced an even more complex dilemma: how to reconcile grief with the potential manipulation of facts, and how to navigate a case that had turned from legal proceedings into cultural theater. As the day wore on, tensions reached a breaking point. Yella Beezy was called to testify, and the entire courtroom seemed to lean forward, anticipating his every word. Cameras captured every subtle gesture, and fans watched in real time, analyzing the tone, inflection, and emotion in his voice. "I had nothing to do with any planning," he declared, eyes steady. "I mourn Mo3. I respected him. I didn't orchestrate anything, and I will not allow anyone to twist the truth to make me the villain." His words resonated across the courtroom, with some nodding in agreement and others whispering doubts. The Mo3 family reacted viscerally. Some members embraced the statement, relief washing over their faces, while others remained skeptical, insisting that unanswered questions still lingered. The courtroom, already a pressure cooker of emotion, now reached peak intensity as lawyers, witnesses, and spectators processed the implications. Social media exploded with reactions, analysis, and debate, further magnifying the drama for a global audience. The final twist came in the late afternoon, when a confidential settlement proposal was unexpectedly revealed. The document suggested that several parties connected to Mo3's circle were willing to negotiate terms to avoid further public exposure and scrutiny. The proposal, though legally complex, hinted at the potential for resolution without a drawn-out trial. Yella Beezy's legal team immediately pounced on the opportunity, signaling that their client was willing to consider options that could bring closure while protecting his reputation. As the court session concluded, emotions remained raw. Yella Beezy exited the courtroom, cameras flashing, fans shouting, and social media feeds exploding in real time. Analysts predicted that the fallout would continue for weeks, if not months, as public opinion grappled with every revelation, interpretation, and rumor. The Mo3 family departed in a mix of emotions: relief, frustration, grief, and cautious optimism. It was clear that the saga had transformed from a legal case into a cultural phenomenon. The courtroom had become a stage where alliances, betrayals, and emotions collided, and the public was deeply invested in every twist. Yella Beezy's reputation, the Mo3 legacy, and the rap world at large had all been irrevocably changed. Fans, critics, and insiders knew that even though this chapter had ended for now, the story would linger, debated, dissected, and dramatized for months to come. The drama of the Mo3 case, the courtroom revelations, and Yella Beezy's role had become more than a story. It was a spectacle, a mirror reflecting loyalty, betrayal, and the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. Every clip, testimony, and leaked message had contributed to a narrative that refused to stay buried, forcing fans, family, and the culture to confront truths that were messy, complicated, and deeply human. The final moments of the day were quiet by comparison, but the tension lingered like smoke in the air. Yella Beezy walked through the courthouse doors, flanked by his team, every step a statement of resilience. Outside, fans chanted, recorded, and speculated about what would happen next, while the Mo3 family disappeared into private cars, whispering about the next moves, alliances, and conversations that needed to happen. One thing was certain: the story was far from over. Secrets remained, alliances were tested, and the public's appetite for drama had only grown. As cameras continued to follow Yella Beezy, as social media dissected every frame, and as insiders whispered about hidden truths, the saga promised that the final chapter was yet to be written. The Mo3 courtroom saga has left the rap world shaken, divided, and glued to every update. From explosive testimonies to leaked footage, secret messages, and unexpected witnesses, the story has taken twists no one could have predicted. Yella Beezy has been thrust into the spotlight, navigating accusations, public scrutiny, and a whirlwind of emotions that extend far beyond the courthouse walls. Fans are shocked, emotions ran high, and the Mo3 family has been left divided, struggling to reconcile grief with the complexities of hidden truths. Despite all the revelations, questions remain unanswered. Who can we really trust? Which alliances were genuine, and which were driven by manipulation? And most importantly, what will the next chapter hold for Yella Beezy and the legacy of Mo3? Every clip, every testimony, and every viral post seems to open a door to more drama, keeping the culture buzzing and fans debating endlessly. One thing is clear, this story isn't over, and the internet will be watching every second for the next shocking update. Now it's your turn. What do you think about Yella Beezy's role in all of this? Did he act in good faith, or has he been caught in a web of betrayal and manipulation? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your theories, and let the debate rage. Make sure to hit that like button if you've been glued to this drama, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update on the hottest, most shocking stories in the rap world. Stay tuned, because in this saga, anything can happen, and you'll want to be here when it does.